Child, Bert, I'm gonna just tell you this now. Don't you ever in your life listen to anything Robin got to say to you ever again. If Robin tell you to follow somebody, be like, I'm not following them. Because Robin got Bert fucked up. Okay, Bert was this, like, security following Andy, make sure she was okay, all that stuff, right? And just trying to keep it tabs on her. So she realized somebody following her because he was following her earlier. First of all, if you was gonna get somebody to follow her, let him be more conspicuous, okay? She hide behind a pillar. Bert looking for her. She come out from behind the other side of the pillar. She mace Bert, need him in the crotch, and start beating up on him. Poor Bert. When she realized who it was. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. What happened? Why are you following me?" Robin put me up to it, and then when Robin come over, Bert, I told you to be more conspicuous. That's not the point. Bert, I would say quit your job, but listen, you need to be paid time and a half for this, and also, we won't hazardous pay. I'm Bert's lawyer because Andy fucked Bert up. Andy had to gather Robin up real quick for hiring Bert to follow her and spy on her. And she told him, "You know better than Gary." And he was like, "Not you comparing me to Gary." She was like, "Yes, you're no better than him." Because I'm like, he would do the same thing to her. And he was like, "I just wanted to protect you." And she was like, "Yeah, still no better than Gary." And then she was like, "Listen, I'm going to give you one less person to worry about. You're fired." He was like, "You can't be serious." She was like, "I'm so goddamn serious. You fired." And this is when Fatima calls her to let her know they at the hospital because Karen is in labor. I'm just gonna tell you this now. We're gonna find out later that Karen wasn't really in labor. She was having Braxton Hicks, aka false labor pains, because it was trying to get her ready. Boom, I saved y'all from having to listen to that BS. Danny called her therapist to come over to help her because she was like, "Okay, let me call somebody and say I'm having a heart attack." We all know that she's probably having a panic/anxiety attack. And, the therapist trying to talk to her, she already called 911. And she's like, "Okay, so what happened?" So Danny goes on to explain that really Danny was having a moment of checking in with herself. She wanted to have a nice dinner without all her vices. And when her and Tony started to have, like, get into the moment where they're about to have sex, she starts to check in with herself, like, am I wanting to have sex because I like this man, or I love this man, that this my man, he look good, he fine, and I'm, all hot and bothered? Or is this something that I'm doing because I'm trying to avoid something? So we all know how that conversation went with Tony, and Tony is always trying to, basically therapize her, even though he's not a therapist, he's not a psychiatrist, he's not a shrink, he's nothing of the sort. And she told him to get the fuck out if you're gonna keep doing it. And she threw some flowers at the back of his head. And it's just like, at the end of the day, he wants to fix her. He thinks she's his pet project, and she's not a project. She's not something you could fix. She's a person who is doing the work. She's going to therapy. She's working on herself. And it's going to take a while, but Danny honestly is taking the right steps, in my opinion, to work on herself, because Danny in the past wouldn't be in therapy, wouldn't be checking in with herself, wouldn't be trying to give up some of her vices and thinking maybe I'm using this as a way to not actually take responsibility, have accountability, or really check in and see, am I doing things the right way? Am I coping the right way? Do I have coping mechanism skills? So it's just like, Tony, I'm about sick of him. It's time for him to get going anyway, in my opinion. I don't know who decided to edit this episode and put these scenes out of order, but I feel like Karen finding out that Fatima is pregnant because Zach decided to be Captain Loose Lips should have been the first scene we saw, not Andy Mason poor Bert in the face and beating him down in the parking garage. But yes, Fatima is pregnant. This is how we work in what's happening with Fatima on Fatima. She is pregnant. She wants to be a little further along before, she actually announces that, hey, I'm pregnant to the whole wide world. And this is what causes Karen to go into her Braxton Hicks, her false labor, all that great stuff. Now, mind you, it was getting a little heated between Fatima and Karen, because Fatima was trying to explain to both Zach and Karen, both of y'all is extra as hell. He was being extra on the phone, and he was wrong for what he said to you, but you being extra in my front room, and I need you to stop just popping up over here whenever you feel like you upset or you need to say something to Zach. That has to stop. But yeah, girl, we'd have found out Fatima pregnant over here, but for us as Fatima fans, we been new. Like, this ain't nothing new. We new to this. We not new to this. We true to this. But this was sent old girl into false labor. Messy as hell. The paramedics come and they taking, Danny's vitals. And like I said before, Like I said before, Danny was having a panic attack. The paramedics took her vital signs. She was talking to her therapist. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm going out. I want Karen to have my vape. I want this. I want that. Don't leave me. Krisha, I know you're my therapist, but can we be friends?" And eventually the paramedic talks to her therapist, and she's like, she's not having a heart attack. She's having a panic attack. And hey, if you had a heart attack, the signs in men don't present the same with women. So are you feeling pain in your jaw? Are you, having, pain in your arm? No? Okay, great. And she tells Krisha after the fact, since they're gone, I don't need to go to the hospital and everything like that. Go back and enjoy your date. And Krisha was like, I don't know if I want to leave you by yourself. She was like, I'll be fine. She was like, I'd be more comfortable if I called one of your friends. Who you want me to call? And she says, call Sabrina. Ultimately, I think it's time for Danny to get rid of some of the stressors in her life. Tony is one of them. She wouldn't have had a panic attack if he wouldn't be over here trying to, be her therapist instead of being her man. If she's saying she wants to have a vice free dinner, then let's have a vice free dinner. If she doesn't want to have sex right now, let's not get upset or want to tell her what it is and what it isn't. I think people come in your lives for reasons and seasons, and I think Tony's season is up, in my opinion. So we all thought Hayden, no weak ass, was gonna either try to smother Gary or something else, but he didn't, because Gary woke up and he was like, "Oh, hey, buddy." He was looking real scared, like Gary was gonna pop up out the bed and do something to him. Who the fuck is Gary? The boogeyman? Child, please be so for real right now. Anyway, Hayden was like, "How you doing, friend? What's going on? I'm here to talk about Tamara." He was like, "Who's Tamara? Who are you? What are you doing here?" So he's confused on what's going on. He think Gary playing the game, and then Hudson comes in and is like, "What are you doing here?" And Hayden was like, "I'm here to check on my friend. I want to know what's going on with him. Why he don't remember me? Why he don't remember my girl? What's going on, Hudson?" Hudson being paranoid. Hudson says Gary needs to be sedated. I feel like Hudson is the one who tried to kill Gary. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Hudson lets him know he has memory loss, and we don't know how severe it is. But something ain't right with Hudson. I tell you that. Something ain't right with him. Zach over there stressing and pacing a hole in the floor at the hospital worried about Karen. So they end up stopping a nurse. And the nurse they know from, Zatima and being up and down that to the hospital multiple times. And she was like, "Listen, she gonna be okay. The doctor who's on call, the OBGYN, is the best in the business. So go ahead and relax and I'll come back and check on y'all later." Which is great. Now Fatima tells him, "You need to go ahead and call Aaron." And he was like, "I don't need," "Yes, you do. He's the father of the other twin. You need to go ahead and call him and make sure everything's, make sure she has her support system here." So Sabrina and Rich are talking about what's going on with his sample and the fact that the doctor wants to speak to him. And she got to give him a pep talk about being positive because it couldn't be anything bad and something like that. And when she gets the call from Krisha telling her that Danny had a panic attack. So when Sabrina hears this, she gets up and walks away, but she screams, "Panic attack."